Hello, so hopefully a notification goes out. In about 5 minutes I will be clapping. The reason being, for those of you that don't know, so my hiccups weren't coming back then. In the UK, we've been doing a thing every Thursday called Clap for Our Carers, where it's anybody that's working for the NHS or essential services, people are applauding them, because obviously they're pretty screwed on the front line with all of this stuff going on. So it's just a way of showing your appreciation. So most people are going outside to do it, but I thought today, what I was originally planning on doing was starting stream late, going outside and clapping like I've been doing the previous weeks. But I thought what I'd do this time is actually clap on stream at 8, just so it's kind of, if anybody watches it who works in the medical care stuff or whatever, it's sort of evidence it's happened for them. So it'll be 5 minutes time. I'll try and do it pretty much spot on 8 o'clock. But I encourage you all yet to put clapping emojis in the chat or whatever, just because I thought it'd be a nice thing to do. Again, the thing is, a lot of these people really do need proper PPE gear and all this. They're not getting enough support in that way, but I think it's just a way of regular people saying thank you. So good evening to everybody. So it's officially happening in 5 minutes, Jake, although often it's not been on time every week. But yeah, in 5 minutes, I will be clapping, and I encourage everybody to spam clap emojis in the chat. Yeah, or clap in real life as well. I said the previous weeks I've been doing it at the window or sort of out the side door or whatever, but well, here's the problem betwixt. I've been on about that, but sadly there doesn't seem to be any channels to do it, because I was properly looking into that, but sadly lots of places say because these aren't surgical masks or N95 masks as we would use, we can't use them. It doesn't matter if they're actually a better level of PPE. Lots of groups have been told they can't use them. Yeah, last week, Jake, I did, yes. I did it before the stream last week. Yeah, so Altric says in 5 minutes, spamming clap emotes is allowed. Yes, it is. So don't forget to like the stream. But yeah, also, I think it's Passover, isn't it, for everybody that's Jewish? So happy Passover to them. It sort of coincides pretty much with Easter. They were only on about that on the radio just now. That's the only reason I know. So I thought I'd say happy Passover to them as well. As you can tell, I've had dinner tonight and I've already been having champagne. So if I seem a bit merry, that's why. But let's have a really good stream tonight once we've done the clapping and all that. Let's keep it a good, fun stream that's nice for everybody. You know, none of these weird sort of arguments starting. Well, Boris is out of critical care, thankfully, now. Yeah. Well, when they go outside to clap, they shouldn't be clapping in close proximity to other people that aren't in their household. I don't really think it is more organised. I don't think much has changed since last time. Whether or not it's just some of the boxes look a bit more organised for whatever reason, I don't know. Oh, okay, that sounds interesting, the Sparrow. So basically, I'll have to look into doing that with mine. That sounds interesting. Thank you, Altrix. Yep, we don't really want anti-vaxxers here either. If you don't like vaccines, you know, if it was just for yourself, that's all right. The people I really don't like are the anti-vaxxers who say, well, I'll let my kids get something horrible because I don't like the idea of vaccines. Let me have a look for you, Fossum History. I have no idea what it's about, but... of course, it's a thing on Norwegian CBRN history. Let me bookmark that and I'll have a proper look later, because I'm getting ready to clap in a couple of minutes. Is there like an index page on it? Because I can see like a picture on the background of like a Helly Hansen kind of thing. But yeah, I've got quite a few military caps. Mobe says, check the Stasimeter eBay item number. Right, I will do. I'll be clapping in 1 minute, so don't distract me from clapping. Moment, because I don't want to forget. So yeah, about 50 seconds to go. So let's have a look at this decimeter, then I'll get ready to clap. Oh, that's a Polish DP75. There's one right down there. I don't know if it's in frame. No, it's not. Right. See that there? That's a Polish DP75 right down there. So there you go. It's one of those. Very good decimeters. Apparently, they're not the most strong things in the world if you drop them. Thankfully, I've not dropped mine and it still works. But yes, I very much like the DP75 mode. It does 0 to 500 Röntgen. Right. I think it's going to be pretty much time, don't you? Yep, right, I'm going to start now. I'll be going for about 20 seconds or whatever, 30 seconds. I'm trying to hear if anybody down my road's doing it at the moment, because some weeks, yep. We'll try and not make this sound too Stalin-y, because I don't want it to look like we're clapping so we don't get shot. Oh, and the decimeter just beeped in clapping as well. If you show all the comments mods, because I can't actually, do it myself at the moment, because I'm clapping. Alright, that's nice. I'll stop now just because I want to carry on with the chat, but yeah. Thank you, Charlie, but I appreciate that. But yeah, let's just say a big thank you, everybody, to you've just missed the clapping, Richard. But yeah, and Peach, but what about the DP5V? Henry, the DP5V I've got in a bucket over there. Not bucket, like a basket of things, but the DP75 is bigger than the DP5, not as strong, but it has got a wider operating range. If you don't know CTB Rail, every Thursday in the UK we've been doing a clapping thing for all the carers, like, NHS workers, doctors, all that sort of stuff, who are on the front lines being, exposed to corona without the proper protective gear and all that. That's good, Mike. Now that's good. The monster in your closet is showing a support infectious sheep. Oh, same thing, isn't it, Gretchen? But yeah, there's been. I don't know, Henry, if it will survive being dropped. I've never done it, and I don't want to test it. But Soviet stuff is generally made to be pretty tough. I know DP5s do last a lot better than the Polish ones, like the DP75, if you drop them and stuff like that. Because I know over time more DP5s carry on working than the Polish meters. But yeah, exactly, Philip. But the problem was I've had some people on here already, and the mods actually just banned them. So fair enough, saying oh, why should you applaud them because you voted for a government that's fucked them and all that. It's like, don't be a cynical cunt when all this stuff is going on, please. It's like, yes, the doctors need PPE, they need that, but they also want to see people showing their support for them. Yeah. Exactly, Charlotte. It's just a shame, isn't it, that some people want to spoil it, saying, oh, it's just a very cynical thing. You'd never donate to them, you'd never clap, you'd never thank them normally. Oh, well, I hope your elderly neighbours are clapping S10 just they're clapping the very frail way. All right, that's good, Mo. It sounds like you're down somewhere where they actually really do want to show appreciation, so that's good. Anyway, so yeah, a big thank you to all the NHS workers from me, and I'm sure lots of other people will show their appreciation, or other jobs where people are overlooked and they're on the front line against coronavirus. Because, again, at the moment, I'm sat at home doing nothing, which is fine. I know a lot of people aren't really coping with that. Also, if you really do want to show your appreciation, don't go outside unnecessarily, unless you really have to go out and do stuff. Because I always kind of think it's a bit, double, a bit like spitting in their face at the same time the people who go outside and clap. But then, decide that they're going to go out and about and do stuff they're not meant to be doing outside and further spread it. I see you living in Newcastle, so good wishes to the people up north, Mob. Yeah, and thank you, Ultrix. Don't forget to like the stream. Oh, I'm glad they arrived, Grobnob, because yeah, I know at the moment a lot of stuff is just very slow coming or not turning up in the way of PPE. When Gretchen keeps saying "hey friend" like that, I keep thinking she's saying "hey fraud," but she's not. Good people are using their fireworks responsibly, then good cats. Yeah, if people Infinity are ignoring social distancing and taking the piss out of people wearing masks. They're just idiots as far as it goes. Yeah, I've heard that's happening in a lot of places, Nico, that there's masks being bought or test kits that just don't work properly, which is a real shame. That's good. Block, does it work properly? The Serbian M2F is quite nice, other than the fact it's not the best rubber in the world. No, all those have gone, White Wolf. My hiccups took an entire day to go away yesterday. I actually went to bed really early just because I was in pain, where I kept hiccuping and they weren't as bad as when I laid down. But thankfully, they haven't come back today, even though I've had a couple of moments where I've kind of felt like they were going to start, but they didn't. And that's good if I like giving away stuff for free to medical workers. I would not recommend it, Fudez. In terms of on paper, would it work? Yes. But diving with an old surplus rebreather on is not the best idea in the world. Now, apparently there's 71 likes on Important Creature. The likes just probably aren't loading on your screen. Probably not Gas Mask Collector. It's probably the same as the original British variant. I tried all the things yesterday, CTB Rail, it didn't work. I think it was most likely an acid reflux thing. Old Indian Scout says he's downloading Cunt and the Gang. Classy stuff. I don't know if classy is the word I'd word, but I'm glad you're liking it. Yeah, anyway, I hope everybody... Yeah, you missed the clap. GZ, you can watch it back and see it later. White Wolf, at the moment, you still got like a Doomer or something, like a Wojak as your picture. Unfortunately, I can't go to your channel from the streams. It doesn't let me do it. Powderun Gel says, smash the like button. Yes, please. Not Important Creature. S10s used to be £30 to £100, roughly. That sort of price range a while ago. Sadly, now they're like well over 200 each, I think. Well, the MD3 Harris. They were about 35. Let me see if I can get you a link to one, Harris, because they were 35 quid on there a while ago. They were incorrectly listed as Geiger counters, but they were the MD3s. So let's see if I can find any. It might be that they've all sold out now, but I need to look at the 35 quid sort of price range. Right, I think the listings either ended or they've all sold out, I'm afraid. Let me just search MD3 Iron Chamber and see if any come up. No, but they were 35 quid at some point. It seems they've all sold now. The German M2009, I've never used it. It looks good, but I've never used it. Yeah, that's good news, isn't it, Survive? There's quite a lot of good news today. Boris Johnson is out of critical. It's Passover for Jewish people, so let's celebrate that for him or wish him a good Passover. It's Easter soon for us Christians, but again, it's a very strange one this year, isn't it? But in general, I'd like it to be, a nice stream for everybody. Blue-eyed polar bear, Aussie, what? Because it will scare you. Far Out Man goes for being a prick. Basically, he's saying all these carers are pricks. I'm a good, responsible person. That's why I won't clap them. Really, you're just a sad sack of shit, in my opinion. You see, the people who are the carers aren't asking to be clapped. It's everybody else showing their support for them. But, and I bet he's the same person going out and about saying, oh, social distancing shouldn't apply to me. But, he's a cunt and he got what he deserved. So there we go. But, I imagine if he's in critical care, he'd suddenly be very appreciative of doctors, wouldn't he? Yeah, exactly what Survive said. It's the people at the top who fuck over the regular doctors at the problem. I'd agree with that. But, I am never going to say anything bad about doctors. Sometimes I can be a bit annoyed with GPs and things, not looking into your problems the best in the world. But when it comes to doctors in hospitals, if ever I've ever needed emergency treatment or whatever, I'm always grateful if somebody gives me emergency treatment. Yeah, I'd get the ammo Alma because I don't know if the money's going to inflate in value pretty soon. So what happened, Rich? I must have missed your comment there. So Rich hurt his foot. I've missed the comment. Can't see it anywhere. It says it's set to live chat, not top chat. Oh wait. He stepped on a few nails and your foot's got infected. I've cleaned it up just wait for swelling to go down. I hope you're feeling all right, Rich. Please don't go into A&E at the moment because obviously they're going to be pretty overwhelmed. Mom Spaghetti said, try PTF tape on that NATO filter to seal it to Goss mask. Right, what I've got to seal the filters is the thing Son of Sono, whatever his name recommended. This stuff. This is really good stuff. Silicon glue, essentially. But again, I've got that really good adapter now. The Goss to NATO one, so I can just use that. It's an industrial one, CTB rail. It's probably much rarer than the weird sort of grey-green ones, but well, my pain from the hiccups hasn't gone yet, Henry, but the hiccups have gone. The hiccups stopped last night, but because I was hiccuping for like 12 hours straight, my chest is pretty sore at the moment. It feels like I've had like coughing fits for, a day in a row. I'm sure it's the thought that counts, Didenga. All right, cool. Let me load up Discord and have a look, Sparrow. But it sounds good. Yeah, it's because the thing is, the plastic bit on that's pretty good. It's just the main mask bit I don't really like on it. So, oh yeah, that's actually really cool. So, yeah, that looks good. So you've just taken a plastic hood off, and now it looks like a proper half face mask. That's a good idea, actually. Have you changed the straps at all? Because the straps look really good like that. If I ever get any for a decent price, Quentin, yes. The issue is I've never seen any, sadly, for a decent price so far. So the Sparrow, it essentially looks a lot better as a half face mask than a hood. Well, it's not me making it. You'd have to ask the guy who's doing it. Parangel. I'm probably going to butcher your name, I'm afraid. But yeah, I think it's very good, but the issue is he's not really mass producing them. He just sent me one to see if I thought the design was good or not, and I think it's very good how he's done it. Because, it's got a decent sized screw thing, it's got a good O-ring with it. So, Wow, Tricks. Hopefully if your internet came back for a bit and then went again, hopefully it's on the way back. I'm glad about that amount of culture. I heard they originally did that so the Chinese commies couldn't buy up all their mask supply and use them for mainland China. But, again, it's kind of disgusting how Taiwan's been tricked. Oh, that was a hiccup then. I don't read newspapers, Survive, and I won't start now. No, Harris, I've got a couple of old webbing bouts, but I've not really got much interest in it. No, Jack, I've got a couple of actual kind of practical axes, and I've got an old Viking axe kind of thing, but as in a reproduction of a Viking axe, but I've not got a massive interest in axes. That's all right, young rail enthusiast. Many people clapping where you are. We had a bit of a clap on the stream at 8 o'clock. Most Doug, thankfully, have gone away, but let's not jinx it. I don't want to say they've completely gone and then they come back. All Knife Peach, what sort of blank gun did you get? You've probably said, and I've probably completely forgotten, but it's not me that's made it, Thomas Patriot, and I've not got them for sale. So the sad answer at the moment is you probably can't get any. If you listen to what I said in the video or read the description, you'd know that already. We're not at our peak yet, sadly, the Red Army. But at the moment, although you've got some idiots violating all the quarantine things and making things worse, most people seem to be obeying the rules and, you know. I don't need any surplus cookies, thank you, Altrix, but that sounds interesting. But so you have no idea what's going on, Murray? Are you not in the UK? But I'm just going to be honest with you. I don't want to get in a shitty mood on this stream. If anybody comes on and starts talking shit about doctors or carers, they can get a fucking block, and I don't give a shit about that. Because I think you must be a sad prick if you come on the stream to say doctors don't deserve any recognition. Well, thankfully, non-important creature, I must not live where you live. But Peach is in the UK, and he knows the rules around them. Yep, we were on about it on the other stream, Connor. These dosimeters have been ever so slightly higher than what they normally are recently, but I can't say for definite if it's due to that. But how do they preserve these surplus cookies? That's what interests me. So, Jenny, your respirator keeps you safe for two reasons. One, because it's a respirator that actually protects your breathing, you know, your lungs and everything. And the other reason, it keeps people away from you. Good to know. Well, as I said, Mom Spaghetti, it's slightly higher than normal, but I'll do a video at some point if it definitely gets higher in the garden showing a load of counters going off. That's good, Killerian. As long as Killerian, sorry. As long as it's working, that's good. But hello, what? Oh, what? So they're basically vacuum sealed well enough, Altrix. I'm afraid I don't, Sultan King. The only Canadian filters I've used are the old 60mm ones and the C2s, like the US also uses. Ah, you're thinking of Polish FP5s, Benny. The problem with Polish FP5 filters, older ones were GOST threaded, newer ones aren't. So it's a bit of a crapshoot whether you get the GOST ones or not. The only modern GOST filters I know of which aren't Russian or Chinese are the Czech ones, and those Czech industrial filters are really nice. The problem is, sadly, there's not any for sale at the moment just because filters are selling out everywhere. Scott says, could you get a personal clap for still working nights at Tesco? There you go. And I'm not doing that to be patronising, because, yeah, there's a lot of people in supermarkets who are getting no sort of PPE. They're essential jobs to keep open. And, you know, they're just getting shafted. So, yeah, well done to you if you're doing everything properly and still out and about serving people. But, you know, it's the doctors and, like, the carers I have the most respect for. So they don't have a PO box. Ah, cool. Detriment. What filter did it come with? Did it come with one of those modern GOST ones? A blank gun, David, is a gun that fires blanks. You know, like a real gun that fires blanks. But I think there's it's the pressure in it's probably not designed to handle full-on firearm pressure. So VS, in terms of over here, I've seen a couple of people with N95s on and a couple of people with like 3M style half face masks. You know, might not have been 3M branded ones, but proper industrial half face ones. Yet to see somebody in a full face mask other than me. But yeah, a couple of people with N95s, a couple of people with proper full, like 3M style half face masks. Lots of people just doing this. No, that sounds interesting. What's the name of it? Emulator Flux. That's fair enough, Charlotte. Yeah, it's a shame if you have to quit if you like the job. But yeah, I know people who had a similar thing where their parents have said, or relatives, you know, at the moment, it's probably best for everybody if it's not an infection risk. Donate $1 or roughly that amount of oxygen. Yeah, it's good news, isn't it? Boris is out of hospital. I've got a couple of different types of dosimeters arriving, White Wolf, that I'll be doing videos on. Oh, the PMKS. Yeah, I know about the PMKS. Oh, it's Prosecco tonight, finishing off a bottle, because my dad and I don't like Prosecco, so we're just drinking it up. We had a takeaway earlier. Altrix, he only has to donate $1 if he wants to. Oh, that sounds like that person was pretty prepared, masks and preps. That's annoying, Mohammed. What country are you in? There's a Patreon as well, but I do know there are some places where you can't actually donate through Patreon or YouTube Super Chats, just because there's a weird thing. I've not got hiccups yet, Survive. If they were wine hiccups, they wouldn't be as bad. Oh, a suit on with a respirator. That's pretty classy. Yeah, it's annoying, the Sparrow, I think, for the police, because there's kind of that cut-off, isn't there, between being overly police statish but also stopping people taking the piss. And sadly, you'll always get people that take the piss that make it worse for everybody. Well, that's a shame, Viking Warrior. All right, Tumbo? Oh, a Tyvek suit. It's like one of those suits behind me. Tai Chem sort of Tyvek suits. Yeah, I thought you meant like a suit and tie with a gas mask. One or two non-important creature, but they're kind of ones that... Wow, I've got one that would normally be a fireman's mask, but it's in 40mm, but it doesn't work in 40mm. It's a Sieb Gorman, like it was a firefighter's mask, that the MOD demanded in 40mm and then never made use of. It's quite hard to clean them properly, Harris, because you'd have to draw water through it. But other than submerging the mask, you know, and opening the drinking tube up, sadly, I can't really think of a good way of recommending it other than just cleaning the mask in the sink, you know, and hoping that you get the inside and the outside of the drinking tube as well as possible. But yeah, drinking tubes are kind of notoriously hard to clean. As in, your Chinese friends deleted user deal. I don't see why you delete yourself for sprouting anti-CCP stuff, but... Only if I can get any S10 gas mask. Like, I've done the PMK3 on a video, and I've done the ROU mask, but I've never seen the others for sale, at least not for a decent price. If they have a particulate filter, Thomas, they will still work even when expired for particulate protection. Just don't use them if you're using them against gases or vapors, because there's no guarantee they'll work. But against particles, they'll work fine. Don't forget to like the stream, everybody. because it seems to help the stream get shared, the more people that like them. When all the coronavirus stuff is over, White Wolf, then the surplus market might flood with loads, and they might go lower than normal. Detriment says, are you looking for a modern GOST for your check mask, and is the S20 mask better? Do you mean the S10? The S10 is better than the On90. I've already got a filter for the check mask. Oh, fuck, there was a hiccup. That better not be the start of hiccups. As in the Type 65 cheek filter mask tactical. They're not meant to be taken out. You can, in theory, take them out. I've done a video on it if you want to look on my channel. But it's not a very easy process, but the point was they were kind of meant to just be factory sealed filters. The filter's actually got a metal kind of exterior to it. Oh, can't you get eggs survive? If you're on about the one I've done a review of, Emulator Flux, look at my review. If you mean the helmet the British Army uses now, it's very good. Yeah, Henry. That's the case, I think, in a lot of places. Lots of people using the internet, so it's flagging everywhere. Yes, White Wolf. Get a 6-point head harness system that's similar enough. Take the straps from the S10 off and then just poke the other ones through the same way and reclamp them on. Block, when it comes to radiation exposure, people can be lucky and unlucky. There's sometimes been criticality accidents where there's been several people in the same room. Some have survived, some have died, even when exposed to high levels of radiation. But a lot of the time it can just be luck with things like that. You know, you can be exposed to horrible levels of radiation and survive, but other people can't. Other than the GOST to NATO filter adapters, Mike, or similar, not that I can really think of off the top of my head, or 60 to 40mm adapters. Maybe outserts, if they could do good, like, reinforced outserts for some of the masks, but in the UK, Detriment, we're not at the peak yet. They think that might be a week to 2 weeks away. Right, I'm going to mostly try and stick to answering comments about masks or whatever that probably interest people, because at the moment there's lots of weird comments or people chatting with each other. I don't mind people chatting with each other, but it's a bit annoying if you're trying to, like, read and answer comments. Purple Alcoholic says, can you please tell me what kind of filter should I get for the MP5 masks? I live in Ukraine, it's not easy to find. Any GOST or NATO filters will fit the mask. For coronavirus, you only need particulate filters, but combination filters will work fine as well. So, can you get Ukrainian military filters? Because they'd fit. Scott Pro filters would fit. The MP5 is 40mm NATO, so it's quite easy to fit filters to it. I was using the GVS Ellipse until I couldn't find it anymore, Mason, because I put it down somewhere, I don't know where it is. I've got a JSP Foresight in my glove compartment in the car, but I'm also just using simple, like, half-face masks. Alright, hopefully you get quite a low peak, Benny, you know, and it spreads out so hospitals and that can cope. But yeah, it's pretty grim for, I think, everywhere at the moment. It's just a bit ahead of the trend in some places. Particle filters will get most of the cigarette smoke, non-important creature, but combination filters are better, because I've noticed with smoke when I've been doing DIY type stuff. If you only have a particle filter on a mask, you can often smell bits of the smoke through it. But if you've got a combination filter, you can't. Yeah, Scott 2000 filters, especially the P3 ones are P3. The ones that are like A2 P3 are P3 as well. No, Philip, I just am very conscious not to touch my face and then wash my hands properly when I get in. Ideally survive waterproof, because you don't want a bag that's going to let liquids through, unless it's one that you're always going to keep in a car or something. Waterproof, plenty of room inside for a mask and a couple of spare filters. Good straps or whatever on it, because you don't want a mask bag, do you, that you can't carry easily. Because I've seen some bags which I can't even work out how they're meant to be carried, that don't seem to have a strap system on them or a belt system, and you think, how the hell was a soldier meant to carry this other than putting it inside another bag? Well, Marigold's a deal. No, my mate Bart does. Jack Guyver, I don't. If I draw, it looks like, somebody who's probably been sectioned doing a drawing about killing people. There's 153 likes. S10 gas mask, Leica. Because I think your one's just not updating, but mine says 230 people watching, 153 likes. Mohammed, do you mean like a metal canister or a bag? I just prefer bags. Metal canisters were pretty popular in World War II, but the issue is that they can get smacked around a lot. Wow, it's not they get smacked around a lot. They give a bit more protection, but they can rust, in the rain and stuff. Yeah, well, marigolds are a sensible thing, Philip. They're a lot thicker than just sort of crap rubber gloves. Yeah, give him a warning, Altrix. Right, so Michael says, what's too big for the FM12? I've missed what he was saying about, but if you're not coming into contact with other people, RC Guy, you certainly don't. But if you're in a supermarket, I would highly advise it, just because you're in close proximity of other people. Ghost in Doomaville says, what's your opinion on the Polish Wilson Furness? I've reviewed it. I thought it was very good. Thought it was. Some people have said it's crap. I don't get why they're saying it's crap. It seemed fine to me. Good quality straps, good panoramic visor, good voice diaphragm. If people don't like it, then they don't like it. But personally, I thought it was good. Oh, you mean the anti-flash hood, White Wolf? Yeah, it's good enough, Paul, but don't pay stupid prices for them like a lot of people are charging at the moment. A man of culture says, is there a way to make rubber half-face masks more comfortable for long duration wearing? I'm getting red marks after a few hours for nasal congestion when nostrils. Rubber is too hard. Unfortunately, unless you go for a mask made out of a softer material like silicone, not really. Because it sounds more like you're just not getting on with it, or it's because you're wearing it for too long. Your skin's getting sweaty and causing a rash. So sadly, other than getting a different style mask, there's not much you can do there. Detriment said, supermarkets most of the times where I am most with Furness mask. Sounds sensible. Or the Honeywell, yeah. Ace Langley says, I need help with a Moldex 5984 mask. It came with ABEC 1P3 filters, but they're fixed canisters and only changeable filters. Can I get ABEC 1P3 canister, remove the filter, add it to my Moldex? Not really. Is your Moldex one that takes like the specific Moldex filters? What you'll need to get is Moldex filters, like the specific Moldex branded filters. It's a bit like how 3M has the 3-point bayonet, the JSP has the 4-point bayonet. That sort of thing. That's the problem with getting masks like Moldex or branded ones, that they have specific filters, not 40mm. So you're probably just going to have to get the Moldex thing. Grobnob says, anyone remember that Alan Partridge special where he talks about flying AIDS and the plague? No, I've seen the Alan Partridge movie, but I've not really watched the TV series. Altrix says, too many retards. Thank you, Altrix. I appreciate the donation. Which is that filter? I have to Google it, purple alcoholic. But let's see if I can find what the filter is. Oh, does that just mean a GOST filter? But yeah, they'd fit, because GOST filters fit into NATO masks. It just doesn't work the other way around. No worry, Ace Langley. Yeah, what AK-74 guy says, even if you find a mask uncomfortable, it's better than getting infected, and I'd certainly agree with that. I'm going to do one at some point, White Wolf, when I finally get around to it, of a Corona loadout, with like body armors and stuff like that, depending on the levels of shit things go to. But I've not got around to filming it yet. I won't film it in the next couple of days, but I say within a week I might get a chance to film that. Scott FRR is 14mm by default. Harris Scott GSR is the bayonet thing by default, but the bayonet thing is on top of a 14mm system. I'll have to Google that one, Magic Monkey Dust, because I don't know what that is. Let me Google that. SJL 7001. Is that a Chinese mask? I have no idea if that would be any good or not. It's mostly going to come down to quality of the straps and quality of the parts. Some Chinese masks are good, some are garbage. Well, I've not used that one, so I don't know. Y2Ks, it depends what type you get, Thomas. They come in both P1, P2, and P3. There's one behind me there. The issue is that if you get a P3 one, they'd be absolutely excellent. This one's only FFP1, so it doesn't offer very good protection. Also, the nose clips fall off of these a lot, because the nose clips are kind of just like a bent bit of metal over them to keep them on. So eventually they just fall off. But in terms of design, I think the design is pretty good just for a disposable, not disposable, like a non-disposable half face mask. But the issue is getting one that's actually a P3 rated one, not a P1 rated one. The P1 ones, like this one, aren't going to be very much use because they're like a simple N95 mask. They're comfortable enough, and they're a lot better in design than the standard N95. But yeah, the thing I like about these is that they've got like the slight plastic frame inside to keep them to shape. They've got the plastic kind of bag bit inside to stop them getting damp and not working. They've got actual valves on them, even if they're pretty low quality valves. But yeah, the thing is with these sort of masks, although this one has the proper rubber valves, the other one's got the weird, like almost cardboard type material valves. The modern FFP3 ones would actually be a really good design. The problem with these old ones is that it mostly comes down to quality of them, and they're only P1 rated. Crypt says, I'm a real newbie with the gas mask stuff. What else should I buy? I already have a 3M1 with the P3 filters, but I'm looking for something which can cover the whole face while I'm wearing glasses. I'm afraid if you're wearing glasses, you're going to struggle a bit. The reason being that glasses break the seal of mask. So unless you get a full-size mask with optical inserts, there's not much you can do. If you've got a half-face P3 mask, get some ski goggles or something similar, and then you can wear these with your half-face mask. So let me just unscrew that strap. There we go. So if you get some ski goggles like this, they'll work fine with half-face masks, because there's other lab goggles you can get as well. But the thing is with goggles like this is they should work absolutely fine with most half face masks. So I'd advise that to people over getting a full face mask if they need glasses, because as you can see, you can wear your glasses underneath them, although my glasses are now stuck inside the goggles. But yeah, so yes, if you're wearing a half face mask, get ski goggles, put them over your glasses, because if you get a full face mask, where the full face mask seals around your face like that, the glasses break the seal. Unless, of course, you get optical inserts to your prescription that are inside the mask, but most people aren't ever going to bother doing that. Bruno says the FFP3 masks he has are good, but they often begin to let some air slip through. What type are they? Like the dust mask style ones? If you've got dust mask style ones, other than maybe putting some sort of frame on them to keep them tight like that, that's why they're not very good. You kind of want a rubber mask. Yeah, disposable contacts work, Daniel, of course. Connor said, my dad told me when he was in Iraq, the correct method to see if an NBC attack was over, and it was clear if there was no other methods was to pick someone to breathe through the air and observe them. Yeah, basically see if they die. Yeah, I've seen that in US training videos as well. It's basically a guinea pig method, isn't it? Yeah, it's not a very good method, but it would work. But yeah, I wouldn't want the job of taking my mask off and see if I start gasping for air and die. But yes. It's like saying if you don't have a Geiger counter, see if somebody starts vomiting after an hour of breathing the air. But yeah. Thomas says, did you see someone in the supermarket with gas masks like us are using anti-chemical salt or just normal clothes? What would you advise? I was saying to a particular person. If for the people who didn't see what I was saying earlier, when I've been out and about at the moment in shops, some people are wearing protective gear, other people aren't, in both regards to clothing, gloves, masks, and all that sort of thing. So I think some people are just taking it more seriously than other people. They also did that in mines, S10 gas mask, canary in the coal mine. But yeah. I've seen that a lot. Yeah, they've not bent the metal bit survive to fit over their nose. But in all honesty, a lot of the N95 type dust masks aren't very good for that reason. I've used a few which I could never get an airtight seal on, even then when they were my size. I've been getting a lot of stupid comments on videos as well when I've checked a fit testing size, done a fit test of the mask, it fits, and then there's still people going, that doesn't look like the right size for you, because apparently somebody looking at a YouTube video knows your exact mask size compared to you doing a proper fit test at your own end. But idiots on the internet. I'll go off in about 10 minutes, if that. But thanks everybody for coming on. And thanks everybody that wished well to doctors. Again, there were some cunts that the mods rightfully blocked for basically saying doctors don't need my support. Some don't know how you could be that much of a fucking loser, but there you go. There are some people that much of a fucking loser. That would be begging a doctor for help if they ever got infected or were ill, but talk shit about doctors most of the time. Very, very strange mentality. I will be for a brief bit, Infinity, but you saying about me, Daniel? Not high, I'm drinking. It's a different thing. It's not weed, is it? It's alcohol. I'm glad you find stuff interesting, S10 gas mask. But yeah, you can learn a lot, but again, the thing is I try not to be judgmental with people at different levels of learning stuff. I get annoyed if I get asked the same question over and over, but the thing I don't like is when there's people who get angry at people because they ask a question. They're new to finding gas masks interesting, and then they get told to kind of like, fuck off because you don't know. UFC says, which is better gas mask, the S10 or the Fushida? Personally, I find the Fushida more comfortable, but the S10 better in terms of like voice diaphragm and everything. The Swedish Fushida military version, the F2 or the Skidmaster 90, whatever they call it. Yes, Thomas, you're not meant to have a beard with a gas mask. Yeah, I was on about that in a video last week, AK74 guy. Nearly hiccuping now, I'm having to stop it, but the more you're exposed to initially, the worse you get it. That's why doctors are getting it quite badly if they're on a ward with lots and lots of infected people. Killer Ian says, doctors absolutely need support. Took my mother to hospital recently. I was the only one there with a proper 3M mask. Shame they can't get their hands on better equipment. Yeah, what I do not get is the people who are saying doctors get paid enough money. Over here, they don't. Doctors get a lot less salary than a lot of other jobs, a lot of people aren't going into medical school over here anymore just simply because they don't think after they got all into loads of debt, they'll make enough money being a doctor. I'm glad you found stuff interesting, Philip. You don't need to wear a hazmat suit, Magic, or an NBC suit. They're easy to decontaminate when you get in if you were worried about that, but you don't need to wear one. But yeah, I do not understand the people who have a problem with doctors. You'd think out of all like the completely non-political sort of partisan jobs, people would support doctors, but no, you still get some sad idiots online saying doctors are overpaid. I don't like doctors. Well, the problem is, Bruno, that doctors themselves don't directly buy masks. They're meant to be supplied by their employer, and the employers didn't bother buying the masks, or there's no PPE coming out of China. If you mean infinity to people blaming doctors, yes, I agree, they are idiots. Yeah, I've seen people who've said, oh, that looks like a good mask, where'd you get it, and that sort of thing. But yeah, you also get some idiots that think people are trying to scaremonger if they wear a mask. It's like, really, there's a deadly virus out there. Everybody is being told to do everything they can to minimize the spread of it, and you still get some people saying, oh, you're stupid for wearing a mask, it's just the flu. Sadly, Datfic, in the UK, we're not meant to peak for another week or two. So they think it's going to be sort of mid next week to next weekend, 7 to 10 sort of days before we peak. And then that's only if people don't do stupid stuff that will be the peak. Because, of course, if people keep going out and ignoring the rules, risking spreading the infection, we're not going to peak. It's going to go on for longer and longer. But we also have to hope there's not a second or third wave or whatever of this. What's your question, Hoxton? Can you ask it again so I can see it? Mike doesn't bully people. What are you on about, Viking Warrior? Yeah, I think the cops, though, Datfic, are in a sort of a bit of an annoying position, because a lot of them were saying, calling things like LBC, they don't want to be too heavy-handed and come across like a police state. But you've also got people who are violating the rules and are like taking the attitude of, oh, I'm going to go out and do whatever. You can't tell me what to do sort of attitude. So I kind of feel bad for the cops, because they're kind of in a situation where people are saying you're either not doing enough or you're being, Orwellian. I don't think they can really win in that regard. Well, it sounds like it is completely stupid, Joshua. I mean, I'm trying not to watch stuff like that because I'm sure it'd just make me angry. But like I said, I've seen lots of people saying it's just some sort of stupid conspiracy to control us. It's not real. Like, I'm going to go out and break quarantine and risk infecting people because corona's not real, or if it's real, it's not serious. It's like, how is a pandemic not serious? The one I've got, and it's weirdly in the video that I've got coming out tomorrow, is I really don't understand the conspiracy of corona is designed to control everybody and keep them in their houses. Let's say you did believe in some sort of New World Order conspiracy. How would keeping everybody in their houses where they're not earning money and you can't tax them be good for the economy? I'd be a lot more worried if the governments were saying go to work regardless of the risk of you getting infected or dying. Yeah, we were saying about that earlier, young Rayo enthusiast. That is good news. What was that on Twitter, Mike? I'll check Twitter. All right, that's fine. Do what you have to do, Mike. I've never used the FMJ08 UFC. It's a Chinese rip-off of the S10. But whether or not it's good, I don't know, because I've not got one or used one. It's just, rip-off champagne. What's it called? Prosecco. We had a bottle and we wanted to get rid of it, so that's what I'm drinking tonight. I don't particularly like the taste of it, but it's alcohol, isn't it? So gets you pissed. Right, Alistair. Sadly, it's going to be what's available. JSP Force 8s used to be quite available here for £20 to £30 and were very good for that price. Sadly, they're quite overpriced. I'll try and find you a reusable mask. What country are you in? Because I can obviously recommend stuff that's in the UK if I can find it in stock. But if it's in a different country, obviously I'm not going to be able to find you something that's in stock. But give me 1 second. Right, I found you something if you're in the UK. Hopefully they've got one in your size. Oh, you're in the UK, Alistair. Right, there we go. Have a look at this. It's a bit overkill. It's a Czech CM4, but that's the old Czechoslovakian civil defense mask. It's this one, but with 2 eyepieces, not a single eyepiece, like a panoramic one. But it was designed to protect against biological weapons, nuclear weapons, and chemical weapons. Not the highest quality mask in the world, but it's got a voice diaphragm, so if people can hear you, speak, you can clean it down and reuse it. But yeah, sadly, lots of stuff is selling out at the moment or being at stupid prices. Benny, that's the Y2K or U2K it's called, as in, I'll type it in the chat. You get them in both P1, P2, and P3, depending on, because some companies still manufacture them in Russia to a P3 rating, but the problem is they're going to be in the minority. All right, see you, Vanessa. I'm off in a minute or two anyway. Yeah, it's a shame, AK-74 guy, isn't it? I think it's pretty disgusting if people are buying up stock just to resell it at a higher price. MSA filters. MSA is Mining Safety Appliances. They're an American company. So yeah, they're either going to be DIN or NATO. But if you're saying will they fit NATO masks? Yes, they will. Surgical Spirit will disinfect masks, Smarty, as long as it's a high percent. But if it's Surgical Spirit, as in for sterilizing tools and things like that, it'll be absolutely fine for killing viruses on masks. Only if it was made to a good standard, Noah. The problem is people have been saying about 3D printed stuff. Quality of 3D printed stuff completely varies in quality. Some 3D printed stuff is excellent, others is junk, basically. It's only as good as the person designing it and making it. Yeah, there's also P3 versions, Benny. The problem is at the moment, because Russia's banned PPE exports, none of the P3 versions are for sale, but I'd love to get a P3 one just as a little reusable light half-face masks. If people are interested, I think there was one that was still being sold for a decent price. Hang on a second. I think it was a 3M4251. Yep, right. Somebody's got these in for a decent price each. They've still got 4 available. So anybody looking for PPE in the UK, £30 for those isn't too bad. Considering how much prices are being gouged on other stuff at the moment. As long as you're going to be sensible, Infinity, you can be a moderator. But in all honesty, we probably have enough moderators on the streams at the moment for the time being. Most of the time I'm on, there's at least 2 or 3 mods on at the moment. Discord could probably do with more moderators in different time zones, but right, no, unfortunately not cryptics. There's a couple of different types of 40mm. So originally you had a type of thing called 40mm DIN, as in DIN. That was a good type of 40mm because all the 40mm filters at the time fitted it. In the Cold War, you had 40mm NATO, used by NATO countries, weirdly enough, and 40mm GOST, used by Warsaw Pact countries. GOST and NATO masks and filters aren't really compatible with each other. GOST filters generally fit into NATO masks, all right. NATO filters do not fit into GOST masks, all right. So yeah, the problem is if you're buying a 40mm mask, you need to know if it's a GOST or NATO one and get filters accordingly. Because again, it's kind of like, having 2 different standardized things of a similar size, but not exactly the same. That Vic said, what's the super lightweight gas mask? The M40 is a pig after a while. I wish I had something thin P3 filters. Unless you're getting a half face mask, I can't think of many full face masks that are very light. I mean, a GP5 would be light, but again, that's a bit, crap for a lot of people, a GP5. If I think of something, I'll let you know, but if it's a full face mask, generally they've always got a bit of weight to them because of, like voice diaphragms and all that. If it's a particle filter detriment, they don't ever need replacing, really, unless you use them in a very, very sandy, dusty environment. If you're using vapor filters, they need replacing normally after a day or 2. Unless you're just using them for painting or something, because vapor filters expire pretty quickly once opened. Oh yeah, you're right. EO19s, as in the PBF, is pretty lightweight. The only issue of the PBF asbestos filters with it, supposedly. CT12s are lightweight, but good luck finding one, sadly. There's not many available. Yep, we call those people covidiots, Catcho. We think, as far as we're aware, Marcy, from several people investigating it, the Pro 2000 filters are 40mm DIN. So they should work on both GOST and NATO masks. When mine comes, I'm going to double test that. Finnish M61s are much better than the original American M9s, RC guy. I don't know yet, Henry. I'll definitely stream tomorrow. I don't know what time. Right, anyway, I'm going off now. Thank you, everybody that's been on. It's been an all-right stream tonight. There was a couple of weirdos that came on, but other than that, it's been quite good. But yeah, thanks, everybody. See you all. Have a good evening. Goodbye.